We welcome head-to-head bass angler Jeff Gagnow to the Sports Couch. Jeff, really appreciate you taking time out of your day. How you doing today?
Excellent today. I'm down in the office getting a few projects knocked out. Gonna go put my boat in the water later today, so it's gonna be a good day.
It's a beautiful day. Mother Nature's finally cooperating a little bit, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day on the water. Hope you're looking forward to that. Let's hop right in here, and let's start with how did you get interested in fishing? Kind of an earliest fishing memory that you have.
Earliest fishing memory is probably my when we lived between New London and Waiwega, and I would ride my bike down to the Little Wolf River every day during the summer and just wade the river for smallmouth or whatever was biting. And then that graduated into Dad getting us a canoe, and I remember him doing all the paddling while I was casting around White Lake and Bear Lake. And then we just kind of graduated up to John boats to bass boats from there.
Nice. Do you remember like around what age this all started happening?
Oh, well, I
Were
know.
you really,
Actually, if
really
we
little?
rewind a little bit, when my dad was a general contractor, we had lived in a couple houses on the river in Fremont and New London, and that kind of sparked the fishing bug. And then when we moved out to the country, I mean, this was back in the old days when they'd let you take off on your bike. I'd pedal that bike 5 miles to the Waiwega Mill Pond, and I would spend all day, every day down there, just either below the dam or above the dam.
Yeah. Yeah, fun. Uh, those were the days where you'd leave in the morning and then you'd show up at night. Hey, it's dinner
Oh,
time. I'm back.
absolutely. And, lunch or supper was served at whoever's friend's house you happened to be at that night.
You betcha. Those are the days, my man. Those were the days. All right. So heading into this head-to-head season, Tony is your partner.
Yes.
How how did you guys come about becoming a partnership? How did you pick your partner?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of a unique story because I had gotten out of bass fishing for about 12 years. And in 2021, I started getting back into it. My godson wanted to fish a few tournaments. And so I'm like, all right, let's do this. And one day there was this kind of he was much heavier set back then. He's lost 65 pounds this last year, but there was this heavy set guy with this big old beard standing at the boat launch in Little Lake Butamore, and we just started talking one day. And I know he was starting his Weekday Warriors series at that time, and I was interested in that. And if we just kind of hit it off, I mean, our philosophies in life are the same, fishing styles are the same, and I think it was when Head to Head started, he had shot me a text that morning and said, "Hey, you want to do this? You want to be partners?" And I looked at it, and the format I love because I got that's what got me back into bass fishing was the Bass Pro Tour Major League Fishing with the catch, weigh, release format. And so this format fits my personality. And as soon as Tony asked me, I was all in.
Yeah, Tony might be losing all the weight, but that beard is still in full effect.
I would be scared to see what he looks like
Yeah.
without it.
Yes.
I would be interested to see, but scared at the same time. I'm guessing his Asher, his son, would not recognize him.
That's funny because I at one time had a big beard, not quite that beautiful, but I had a nice big beard. And one day I just said, yeah, whatever, shaved it and met my wife and son at a restaurant, and he had no clue who I was. He was like 2 years old at this time. He had no clue. Like, whoa, what is that? So
Right?
yeah, who knows what Tony's hiding underneath that thing. So I come from a non-fishing sports background where every team had a team captain, team leader. Like you looked for leadership. Do you have a leader on the boat? Do you guys have like a designated leader once you get on the water on the boat?
I think it all depends on one, whether we're in my boat or his boat, and who's more familiar with the body of water and what's going on that particular week. That's how we kind of concede to each other. If Tony's been doing most of the pre-fishing for, say the next tournament, and he's got something going, then I'm going to concede that to him. But if I've been doing most of the pre-fishing and I got something going, then he generally concedes that to me.
Okay. Yeah, because in the head-to-head format, it's a 4 hour just stress-filled sprint, right? Like
Oh,
it's not
absolutely.
your typical 8 hour tournament day. So you're gonna have your ups and downs, and there's gonna be conflict and disagreement on the boat. It's always very interesting to me how teams handle that. Do you go into it knowing, oh, it's your boat, so I'm just gonna kind of take a back seat, or does there become a little pushback, a little disagreement, a little conflict on the boat? And how do you
We
handle that?
haven't really gotten there yet. It's because generally we have an idea of what's going on the body of water by the time we meet in the morning. And then it's like, okay, we're going to let you take the front of the boat. If all of a sudden, if one of us has that gut feeling or something to make a switch, we've learned to listen to that to each other. So we've avoided conflict pretty good. We work together pretty well. But like you said, this format, I've told the guys last year, it's so mentally exhausting at the end of your day. You don't know if you've won the lottery or your dog died.
Yes. Yes. Eh, you're not wrong. It's,
Right.
as a fan watching it, it's exciting, and it's everything that, I think fishing should be. Do
And
you
that's
and
what got me back into fishing was this format, the live streaming, the live scoring. It just
yeah,
adds a whole nother element to it.
it takes it into a whole different realm of sports, and I
Right.
love that as a sports guy. Yeah, I totally appreciate that. Do you and Tony have any pre-match rituals? Are you a superstitious guy? Do you have anything that you guys have to do before each match?
I don't. I know for myself. No, I've never been a superstitious guy. Just kind of let it, let the day come to me as it's supposed to. Um, yeah, I don't think Tony's got a lot of superstitions either. At least if he does, he hasn't told me about them.
He's not
So,
sharing them with you.
no,
Uh,
no. So if he does have one, whatever he's doing, keep doing it.
exactly. Victories. Do you guys celebrate victories? If so, how do you celebrate those?
I try just as I don't let the the down days get me down. I try not to let the really good days take me to a point where it's like a sugar crash. All of a
Yep.
sudden, the next tournament, I try to keep it even keel, but there were a couple victories last year, like the one when we found out that we did make it into the playoffs, because that was my ultimate goal, was make that top eight, make it to the playoffs. That one we celebrated. Um, Used to be, for me, whether it was a bad day or a good day, I would go treat myself. My go-to comfort food at the time was a hot dog and a vanilla malt. And that was good days or bad days.
That sounds all right to me.
It is, but unfortunately, with this cancer thing that snuck up on me earlier this year, my diet's changed.
Uh, a cancer thing. Are you okay? You're good?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it looks like I'm 95% in the clear. I got malignant melanoma. Turned out to be a mole on my inner thigh that started growing. The initial biopsy came back that they had to go outside those margins, and so yeah, I had a full surgery here about a month ago. They took basically a crappie fillet sized chunk out of my inner thigh, and then they had to go up 12 inches from there and take two lymph nodes. Now, they didn't find anything past the margins of what they took out of my leg. They found 0.1 millimeter of cancer in one of the lymph nodes, but it hasn't gone outside the lymph node. So they're pretty sure they've got it all. I've got a PET scan scheduled for May 8th, and then 2 weeks after that, meet with the doctor to see what that find out. But it looks like we're in the clear. But yeah, the last 2 months have been pretty interesting. Because I
Wow.
have never had a health issue up until February 10th when I went to the dermatologist.
Well, I am happy that it sounds like you got that under wraps, and
Yes,
we're hoping for a really nice scan coming up. We are in your
absolutely.
corner,
I'm
Jeff.
pretty confident in it. I haven't let it get me down. I haven't done much work or anything else the last 8 weeks because recovering from that surgery. But other than that, I feel really good.
Yeah, feeling healthy, ready to go for this season.
Absolutely.
Love it. That is fantastic. If you could pick one sponsor that you would represent, could be a dream sponsor. Who you picking and why?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. One dream sponsor. You know, I've always had the thought process. My wife's a food scientist for Sargento.
Okay.
And I've always had this picture of a Sargento wrapped boat.
It's going to make
But
everyone hungry.
exactly. But boy, I don't know. I've never really thought about that much because through the years, I've basically been self-sponsored, being self-employed and just, and if you see a company, an organization on my shirt or on my boat, it's probably because I just really enjoy working with that company. And that means both sides of us doesn't really have an expectation of each other. But like the fixed productions, running camera for Kyle and being on that side of it, and the real shot, getting to know those guys, just supporting those brands that I'm really comfortable with. But yeah, as far as kind of an outside sponsor, that Sargento wrap boat always kind of keeps coming to mind.
Hey, I love it. Would you wrap it with some cheddar cheese? What are you wrapping it with?
I would probably like one of the projects my wife's worked on is the balanced breaks. I eat it's their snack pack with the cheese, nuts, and dried fruit in it.
Yeah.
It's
Put that
something
around.
exactly something to that effect. And yeah, and I'm always picturing I'm showing up to all the tournaments with a cooler full of these things and just handing them out. Why that's the one that pops into my mind, I don't know. Probably because my wife's been their senior food scientist for 20 years now, so it's all I know.
I mean, it sounds like you need to make a phone call and get that into action. That sounds
Well,
like a
well,
fantastic
that's the
idea.
other thing. I'm probably got a really good connection to
I think so.
finding the people I need. So we'll see.
The anglers will not be upset if you start showing up with food every event. I'll
This
tell
is
you
a
that much.
fact. But
Yes.
like I said, though, I'm not the guy that's going to be showing up with donuts now. It's going to be more healthier snacks.
Food is food. I think they'll
Right.
say thank you either way. All
Absolutely.
right. Tournament fishing or just out on the lake on your own. Have you experienced or witnessed like a devastating event out there? The example I got, uh, Brian, my boss, he talked about in a tournament one time he saw a boat come in, and as they were transferring their weight from boat to shore, their entire bag fell in the water. They lost
Ooh,
their entire day. Devastating, right? Has that happened to you, or have you seen anything like that? Anything
I
big
haven't
happen to you?
seen any. We haven't, knock on wood, we
Yeah.
haven't had anything yet like that. Um, excuse me. I think the worst thing I may have seen was years ago when I was fishing the Everstart series, which is kind of the semi-pro level through the old FLW days. Tournaments out on Lake Erie. I've seen boats come back just about cracked in half, trolling motors hanging off. Guys have lost their drafts because that body of water can turn on them so quickly. And I had a lot of friends that would make 20, 30, 40-mile runs out into the middle of Lake Erie where it's calm in the morning. But by the time they're headed on their way back, there's 6-foot rollers out there. But they didn't care because as long as they thought they could catch that bag of fish, they're going out there. But
Just
yeah, otherwise, is something recently? Not yet.
hey, let's keep it that way.
Right.
We don't need that. All right. Who is a person who has impacted your life the most outside of fishing?
Outside of fishing, I would say my father, number one, mother, number two, my wife, number three.
Okay. Can you give me a story about one of them?
Well, my dad in general, growing up, was always self-employed. I actually started working in the appraisal business for him the summer I turned 16, which was June of 1987. Well, I'm still running that appraisal office to this day. It'll mark 38 years in that business. And yeah, we're getting to having, he retired in 2013, which I never thought he would. He was a workaholic, but he had his own health issue pop up, took care of it. So he's 81 now, but still going strong. But yeah, he and I gosh, 25 years worked every day together. And the nice part with the appraisal business at that time was all your courses for that were taught outside of college. Well, along with running his appraisal firm where he had 7 appraisers working for him, he was also a national instructor for the Appraisal Institute. So during my summers in school, I would follow him around and take my courses. And so by the time I graduated high school at age 19, I had the work experience hours and the education hours to get licensed right away. And, through those years, I've become very passionate about what I really enjoy the appraisal business, enjoy solving the problem, really enjoy being self-employed because it gives me the resources and the time to hunt and fish. Because he's also the one that got me into the outdoors when I was, I think, 9 or 10 years old.
That's a great story. As a father myself, like that's the dream, right? You get
It
to spend
is.
all that time with your kid. That's awesome. I think I strive to do that with my children as well. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah. As a kid, all we're looking for is just time.
Yeah, for
Whatever
sure.
it is, just time.
Can you think of a best moment outside of the fishing world? Anytime in your life, what's a best moment for you?
Wow. Well, looking back on it now and looking at the last 2 months of my life, I'd say there's 2 defining moments for me personally. When I met my wife and when I started to make my faith the most important thing in my life. Those 2 things, looking back at it now, are the 2 most important things that have happened to me because that woman that God put in front of me and that I married, she's also a scientist, and one of her strengths is also knowledge of food in the immune system. In the last 2 months with this cancer thing, she has been my warrior and has taken care of me and has put me on the right path with the right supplements and the more natural choices to make. And yeah, without her, I'm not sure where this whole thing would have gone.
Can we hear the story of how you met her?
Match.com.
Hey, let's go. That's awesome.
I'd gone through a divorce early in 2000, 2001, and didn't date for probably 6 months to a year after that, and then started the whole online dating thing. And I don't know how many first and second dates I've had with people I met online. Most of them were just flat out crazy. Honestly were. And when I met Carrie, because she had just moved here, she had been working for ConAgra out in Omaha, Nebraska, and she had just taken a job with Bird's Eye Foods when they were up in Green Bay yet. So she had just moved here in October of, I don't know, 24, something like that. Well, in December of 24, I met her online on Match.com. And we had our first date. But the reason I knew that she was the one is because she flat out refused to have a second date. I literally begged and pleaded to get that second date. And history after that, I think about a year after that, we eloped down to Lake Hamilton in Arkansas. That would have been July 5th, 2000, or July 6th, 2005.
Were you not bringing your A game on that first date, Jeff? What happened? You didn't woo her too well.
She was one of the smartest women I've ever met. So she could probably see right through that A game.
Well, congratulations on your pursuit. Hey, it's all gravy from there, right?
It is.
There you go.
Yeah, we will have 20 years this July.
Congrats. What what is your motivation to be successful? Are you financially driven? Are you driven by trophies, people recognizing you? What motivates you to be successful?
Money's never been a big motivator for me. I like making it, but because I also like being able to give it out and to help people. And I think that's my biggest motivator in life, is to serve others in some form or format. I've gotten to do so many things in my 54 years. I mean, from even while running the appraisal office from 2005 to 2011, I had my own TV show on the Sportsman Channel and Fox Sports North and did that whole thing. I've been able to hunt and fish, I think, in 30 states now. Um, it's I've been blessed far beyond what I deserve. And so I don't know, the last 10, 15 years, what motivates me is just making people laugh, making people happy, and doing something for somebody else. I guess is my only answer right now. Yeah,
That's a great answer.
the money's nice because it helps to do that, but that's never been a motivator.
Sure. All right, we're going to have young and old watching this. And
Okay.
fishermen, not fishermen. What's some advice that you would give someone that's looking to maybe break into the sport? Give them some good advice on how to start.
Temper your expectations. Start simple. I mean, as far as equipment choices, simple. Just a couple of rods. As bass fishermen, once we get addicted to the sport, we just get stupid with the amount of equipment that we have and having to have all the latest and greatest. I mean, start simple. Hopefully you have somebody in your life that can help mentor you. But if you don't, have the courage to go ask somebody, find somebody. With social media these days, you can get on there and find a local fishing group or club. Don't be afraid to ask, but hopefully you've got somebody in your life, whether it's a father figure, grandparent, uncle, friend, whatever, that can get you started. But just keep it simple, keep it fun. The reason I had got out of tournament fishing for 12 years is because I was trying to become that guy, that pro. I wanted people to know who I was as a fisherman. And that took the fun right out of it. And once I realized I was an incredibly average angler and that wasn't going to be my lifestyle, but yet I still had a passion for fishing, that piece that I found after that brought all that fun back. And today I have a ball, whether we win or lose. I mean, losing still sucks, but it doesn't get me down because it doesn't define who I am anymore. It used to. So
that definitely comes through when we're watching the head-to-head events. We get to see that. You're great on camera.
well, thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun watching you. What are some hobbies outside of hunting and fishing?
Oh,
I know I have to cancel those two out because
if you
I'm
have
going
to
to tell
cancel
you.
those two out, that
Yes.
doesn't leave much.
Uh-huh.
I used to be into cycling quite a bit. Especially road bikes and doing Race the Lake around Lake Winnebago a bunch of times, the 90-mile bike race. I had done that for quite a while, but man, I guess if I'm not doing anything related to hunting and fishing, I enjoy being home and just hanging out with my wife or doing something around the house with her. If she watches this, it's probably going to burn me, but I enjoy doing the yard work and stuff with her too.
There you go. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I've thought about this. But I've thought about like X-ray vision or being able to be invisible. But then I'm also like, do I really want to be able to do that? It would scare me to see the things I probably don't want to see from the people I don't want to see them from. Um,
Uh-huh.
I think if I could have one superpower, maybe like Superman and fly or to teleport myself. Because in the appraisal business, I put on about 50,000 miles a year. If I could snap my fingers and be at my next inspection that's 2 hours away, that'd be great.
That would be great. All right. You are stranded. You're alone. You get to bring 3 items with you, though. What 3 items are you bringing?
Oh, stranded, alone. For me, probably a hunting or fishing magazine, a knife, and I hate to say it, but probably my phone if I could.
Great answers. Jeff, way to go. All right. You can pick an actor, any actor, to play you in a role about your life. What actor are you picking?
The one that comes to mind right off the top of my head, Dennis Quaid.
Okay. Why are you picking Dennis Quaid?
I'm not a big Hollywood guy. For everybody who knows me, I am that Christian conservative guy. So Hollywood and me probably don't normally get along, but Dennis Quaid, from what I've seen of him the last couple years, his last couple movies, I like that guy.
Okay. All right. Plan your perfect meal. It can be as many courses as you want, all the sides you want. What are you eating and what are you drinking?
I am probably going to grill some sort of wild game out of my freezer with grilled asparagus and either mashed squash or sweet potatoes. And for a drink, if I'm going all out, it's going to be some kind of non-alcoholic craft beer.
No dessert?
Only if my wife's baking it, because she's baking me the good stuff now without all the processed stuff in it.
Yep.
So I just thought of something. You asked one of the defining moments in my life
Yeah.
would be August 4th of 2000, the date that I quit drinking. That was a Tuesday afternoon. I'd been drinking by myself on my couch, and I thought to myself, I was like 6 whiskey and cokes into that afternoon, all by myself. And I thought, you got too many good things going on in life. Before somebody asks you to quit or tells you you have to, that was the last day I drank, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Hey, congratulations. It's amazing the brain power that comes out, 6 whiskey and cokes in.
Absolutely.
Epiphany right there. Oh,
Absolutely.
love it. All right, you can bring 3 people to this dinner. They can be with us or past. What 3 people are you bringing to the table and why?
Oh, what 3 people? Oh, let's see. Probably Tony for one.
Okay.
3 people. Aaron Martins, the professional angler who died of brain cancer not too long ago. He's one I haven't gotten to meet. And Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, favorite football player of all time?
It was. He's the guy that got me back into watching the Packers. And when he left the Packers, I followed him to the Jets and the Vikings. Everybody kind of had their favorite team. I kind of gravitate to a guy.
Yeah.
On that team. And for us, it was Favre.
Yeah, the gunslinger. He was fun to watch. That's for sure.
Yes.
All right. Couple favorites here. Favorite movie?
Top Gun or Back to the Future. One of those two.
The original Top Gun?
Yes.
Or the new one that just came out?
Well, I like the new one, but I think the original one or Back to the Future, those are the only 2 movies that if I see them on TV right now, I stop and watch.
That's a great gauge to how much you like a movie.
Right.
Favorite TV show?
Oh, MASH. Growing up, it was MASH.
There you go. And favorite band or artist?
Oh boy. Well, I'm mostly country these days, so I would have to go. If it was now, it'd be probably Blake Shelton. But back into the first DVD I ever bought, Metallica,
Yes, sir.
Ride the Lightning.
Yes. All right, here we go. Last question. This one's going to hit hard. The number 1 seed is pretty important this year. You get the
Yes.
bye, you get the check. Everyone's going to look up at you and shiver. Who is going to be the number 1 seed in the Bass League this year, Jeff?
I've never been one for boasting or bragging, but I am going to call Tony and myself.
I love the confidence. I'm going to let you call your shot on this as well. Angler of the Year, MVA, who's it going to be?
Oh, I'm going to say Tony.
The
I'm going to
confidence
say
in your
Tony.
partner is great.
Yep.
There you go, Jeff. That was pretty painless and harmless.
It was.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun getting to know head-to-head bass angler Jeff Gagnow. Jeff, we appreciate you taking your time and answering all the questions, and we really look forward to watching you all head-to-head season long.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, a couple weeks we are out on the water.
Couple weeks, the weather's going to cooperate. It's going to be a fantastic season. We look forward to it. Come check it out. Head-to-head bass right here on Fix all season long.